Has also been assisting the Gold Coast Rollers team. Very disappointed in him not coming up to town tonight, up to his old stomping ground. All the women at the Mad Cow are probably feeling a lot safer tonight, though.
Well, that's another well-credentialed assistant coach has been working with Cassie Dover, who's done a great job with this roster. But Reese Martin is also on the bench.
Yep. So, look, some quality coaching staff there. And I think the other player that I'd like to watch from the Gold Coast team, Susanna Walmsley, who's been involved with the Sydney Flames WNBL program for a number of years, made the decision to come up and play in the QBL this year and has been playing with good numbers so far through the start of the season too. Yeah,
and I see that Sarah Ambrose has switched over from Logan from previously. Sian Woods, who's been having a great start to the season as well statistically, shooting the three ball really well. For Townsville, no surprises there. Alicia Froling will be in the jump ball with Abby Bishop, Lisa Brennan at the 3, Ainsley Walsh at the 2, and Rachel McCauley again covering for Michaela Cox.
Yeah, so Rachel Michaela away at the 3-on-3 World Championships over in Amsterdam. Enjoying herself, I'm sure, but if you're watching Michaela tonight, shout out and good luck for the Kiwis at that tournament.
Ariana Moore is the other import here for the Gold Coast as they throw it inside the Luna Castro. Spin move against Bishop. Corner 3 is good.
Great start for Gold Coast. Got the ball through hands well. Found the open shooter in the corner. See what effect the Bishop factor will have on and how long it'll take her to find her feel in the group.
Well, that's one of those things that it's a nice difficulty to have to try to work Abby Bishop into the rotation as they call a foul on Alicia Froling coming from the block from behind. But Townsville again having a different lineup for another week.
And look, I think for Abby Bishop, the positive for her is going to be having a coach like Luke Brennan, former Bigs type coach. He'll obviously have some sets that he'll want to throw straight in to get her some touches and get her some focus. That foul just called on Alicia Froling. I'm not sure if we touched on this last week or not, but she's about to head off to Italy on Friday with the Australian University team for the World Uni Games.
Anyone else going with her?
A couple of cool people, but not sure who they. Her sister's going. Her sister's on that roster as well.
All right, okay. I was thinking of someone else. Mark Roble, you will be on that coaching staff, I believe. So
yeah, look, enjoying it. Always great to go away and represent your country. So looking forward to a couple of weeks in the south of Italy during summer. It will be pretty tough to take, I'd imagine.
Absolutely difficult.
So McCulley finds Brennan open in the corner. It's no good, but McCulley with the O board knocks down the 2.
So you get an assist if it goes clean over 2 feet.
Yeah.
No dribble.
Well,
I might give it an assist.
Not sure what the stats guys would have put that down as, but Gold Coast working out of the side on ball. Luna Castro launches a 2. It's no good. Bishop with a strong rebound.
And I think that's one of the key differences that Abby offers is Courtney Perry, a low post player, but would never initiate the offense off a defensive rebound. Abby Bishop will punch, dribble, and look to kick it ahead. And I think that'll facilitate, certainly when Alex Fowler comes on and some of the bench players look at the transition game.
Walsh fouled by Walmsley there, and we'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Misses the second Abby Bishop offensive rebound. Oh, throws it right at Moore, but Townsville retained possession.
So there is one other game underway tonight, and we will try and give score updates if possible. That's the Gladstone Port City Power Breakers at home to the
Moore
USC
with a
Rip
nice
City.
move, beats Walsh to the basket.
Gold Coast with an early 4-point lead here.
It's good to see the women have a competitive group after the last couple of years of not being so. So, I mean, I gave them some stick in the program last year about the amount of money they spend in their men's program compared to the women's program, but certainly this year they seem to have a quality rosters. Abby Bishop buries the triple.
And that's definitely something that Courtney Perry couldn't add to this team, and that'll be a little bit of a change. Most of the Townsville bigs that they've got on their roster aren't necessarily outside threats, bar when Brennan's playing in the 4 spot.
And it's a bit of a luxury for Abby in the rosters that Rocky had constructed in the previous years, where they were very big heavy, that she'll be working alongside Rachel McCauley and Michaela Cox when she returns.
And I'm sure this signing will, the Townsville Fire staff and GM will be circling to try and make this move for Bishop a bit more of a permanent one into a WNBL role.
Well, I saw that she spoke to the media and expressed an interest, and I believe the Fire reciprocated and said they had a mutual interest. So surely if something could be worked out, it'd be a great acquisition for the Fire, who'll be looking to replace the great number 8, Susie Bakovic, this year.
So McCulley finds Bishop out of the high on ball. Turnaround jumper is no good, and foul called on Walsh.
Signature move from Abby over the years, that one-step Dirk fadeaway.
It looks in very good shape as well, I suppose. Someone who hasn't been playing for a number of weeks, obviously would have been doing her conditioning work, trying to get ready for the Opals camp upcoming.
Pounds.
Gold Coast work out of the high post catch.
Jumper.
Luna Castro is good from the elbow.
Great patience from that Gold Coast team so far, taking what's given to them. Bishop triple teamed, throws it up inside. Alicia Froling with the tipped rebound.
And look, that's something that, Froling, when Fowler comes into the game, same opportunities are going to present to herself. Bishop's going to attract that double team possibly, or at least traffic around her. If that shot is long, the weak side of the basket should be wide open.
What an exciting front court Townsville now has.
Exciting, but going to be very disrupted, and that's a challenge that Brennan's going to face because, as we've talked about, Bishop, she'll go to an Opals camp. Froling's off to Italy with the university team next week. Fowler's going to miss some games when she heads off to Thailand for the Under-19 World Championships. So.
And I think that's something that Luke's coming to terms with, and that you and I have both had to deal with, is that when you attract quality players, it means that other teams want them as well. So representative duties take them away, and you have to find these creative lineups and make things work even when you don't have 100% of your roster around you.
Smart play there by Walmsley. Just took the body check from Brennan and exaggerated the contact enough to get that foul.
Exciting start. I mean, great women's game, but we have a great men's game coming up next too.
Yeah, we do. And looking forward to both games of basketball tonight. It was probably at times some hard viewing last week, particularly during the men's game when it was such a lopsided affair. But hopefully 2 very attractive games of basketball tonight.
Froling switched out on the perimeter. Kiplocks helped out and maybe didn't need to, as
Ambrose knocks down the shot from the short corner.
Looks very much the Gold Coast type, doesn't she?
She's gone the bleach blonde since making the roll down the coast.
You can already see that Abby understands the offense. She's even guiding people around where they need to be.
So Froling one-on-one against Ambrose in the post. It's no good, and Bishop called for the over-the-back foul on the rebounding contest. So, Mike, the pace of the game, it's a subdued pace at the moment, both teams. It's looking like it's going to be half-court versus half-court at the moment. Yep. We've noticed at times when Townsville really notches up the pace and starts to push in transition, hence last week against Toowoomba when they were really in trouble, that's when they got themselves out of the game. So it'll be interesting to see how long that game takes to develop into a faster pace.
Well, and I think that, knowing the Townsville side more so than the Gold Coast, when we see Harriet come off the bench, when we see Alex Fowler come off the bench, supplement some of these bigs that'll stay on the floor, I think that's when it opens up a little bit for Townsville. And as I mentioned that right on cue, Alex looks to check in, as does Eliza Fabro.
McCulley getting her first rest for the night after mega minutes last week against Toowoomba. Townsville taking the risk and getting a little bit more rotation perhaps this week. And we see on the bench this week as well, Shaylee Ward suiting up for her first game for the Townsville Flames.
Well, and I think if Eliza has a few more of those turnovers, it won't be long before she sits down and Shaylee Ward might see some action. That was unforced where she tipped the ball, didn't look after it, and turnover out of bounds.
Christine Obermeyer into the game for Gold Coast. Moore shoots for 3 from the top. It's good.
Great import there. She's buried 2 of 2 from 3 now. Move the ball around. Kiplox tries to break down Moore, but there's no speed advantage there. Play to the ball screen, they switch it. Kiplox picks up the dribble, gives it to Bishop. Off the double. She's
nice
fouled.
step through, finishes with the right hook, fouled, and will go to the line for an extra shot.
I guess the difference of finishes there contrasted in those 2 possessions. Alicia Froling felt a little bit rushed.
And look, you can see, and you mentioned it in a possession earlier, the spacing's a little bit tight right now, Mike, and the bigs getting on top of each other a little bit. That's going to take some time to build some new combination with Bishop. Nice move by Moore. Just shook Fabro out of her boots, ended up with the foul, and made the shot.
Lisa Brennan trying to argue that the and one should have been waved away, but she didn't take the extra dribble after she was fouled. Probably Kiplox there with maybe a lack of recognition, needing a hard foul to help out, given the help was so late.
Gold Coast in a fairly commanding position right now, Mike, early in the game. 7 points. You wouldn't say that it's been any teams looked really assertive at this point, but they've just crept out to that lead.
Really efficient offense, 19 points with 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Here's that double team again. As Bishop gets fouled on the double team, she'll head to the line shooting 2, given Townsville's in the bonus.
And you would have to think that's going to be a risk Gold Coast are going to take. They're going to have to double team, take the risk of make Townsville knock down some threes, make them beat it from the outside, because trying to cover Bishop one-on-one, for besides Castro, who's obviously an experienced import, it's going to be a challenge for anyone else that might pick her up in transition. Or another turnover for Townsville as Brennan just steps out of bounds.
And the challenge for Gold Coast is they've only traveled with 9 here, so the foul game might work early on, but they're on the Northern Nightmare, so they've got cans to account for tomorrow. But I'm sure they're leaving it all on the line to try to get this one tonight, and whatever happens tomorrow happens. As Gold Coast managed to salvage possession, Castro tipping it back. 5 on the shot clock. They switch it.
Woods launches a 3. It's no good, but gets her own rebound. Finds Ambrose in the corner. Long 2 is no good also.
Kiplox has it. They kick it through. They play through Bishop here.
You see McCulley waiting on the bench, ready to come back into the game. Had that short blow just to get her legs rested again and ready to go. Fowler one-on-one against Luna Castro. Kick to Brennan for 3. It's long, but they come up with the O ball. And Fowler finishes. Outstanding work on the glass there by Bishop.
Certainly nothing lost. Courtney Perry, an excellent offensive rebounder, but Abby Bishop at least her equal. So Townsville haven't lost anything there with that change. Oh, great pick and roll.
Nice little slip there by Ambrose. Just couldn't quite finish at the rim.
And here's Fowler in transition, the big woman. I apologize for that.
Look, that's that transition game that got him the win against Toowoomba last week. When Fowler came on in the fourth quarter, McCulley found her about 3 times in a row in transition, and that's that pace that comes with the youth change.
Cuts the lead to 3 there. Ambrose almost travels, but kicks it out to Luna Castro, airballs the corner, long 2. They really could use a point guard here, Townsville, right now, as Eliza Fabro looks to get them organized. They throw it to Bishop inside. There's the double. Oh, 3 seconds to keep from Tom Jones.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure about that call. The ball only came into the front court and was thrown inside. The 3 seconds only counts once the ball comes into the front court, so we should perhaps a little bit premature for the ref. They normally give a bit more sway than that.
Vaughn Maybury might be responsible for that referee education after the game to say, that's when you start counting it.
Yeah. Woods just breaks down Fowler, but they end up with a switch in transition. Luna Castro from the elbow again, rises up, but it's no good this time. We saw Carey and McCulley come back into the game then at that last whistle for Townsville, as Brennan and Fabro went to the bench.
I reckon Abby will regret not taking that one. It was an opportunity for them to play the 2-for-1.
Fowler finds Kiplocks on the perimeter, long two. It's no good. Defense rebound was wrestled over. Luna Castro got knocked to the ground, and Bishop took advantage of that. Came in and grabbed the ball, jump ball, and it will be Townsville ball.
Great job from Abby creating an extra possession there for Townsville. Cassian yells the instruction of no score. If only it was that easy.
McCulley from the corner. It's no good. 5 seconds on the clock as
Moore gets the shot off. Heavily contested though, and it's an air ball.
So at quarter time at Townsville Stadium, everything they can at this game tonight. Off this double, you always try and throw it at the first one. Talking with Linda Ambrose, their manager, before the game, and they're only spending the half day here in Townsville. They flew in this morning. They got day rooms at one of the backpacker joints here today in Townsville at Rambutan, and then straight after the games tonight, they're on the bus on the way up to Cairns.
Well, for those potential recruits looking for to compare programs, Townsville would have flown in the night before, would have had a nice hotel, a shoot around in the morning. So
Carey in the corner.
Three. Oh, good.
But Bishop with a big O board, kick out to Kiplocks and then gets it back.
Finds McCulley on the skip. Floater off the glass, no good. She keeps her own rebound alive. The kick at the Bishop, she'll take that three. Buries the triple. Abby Bishop, who's played every minute so far, has really done the job here tonight on her first performance for the Townsville Flames.
Now look, Mike, I reckon one thing we should have challenged at the start of the night was actually to do a count of McCulley to Bishop or Bishop to McCulley passes tonight, because you see almost every time one of them gets the ball, they're trying to find where the other veteran on the floor is right now.
I think there just happens to be that trust. They've never played together, to my knowledge. When Rachel played for an Australian team, I don't believe Abby was around, but they know that they played at the highest level, and so it's just that, you know, confidence of saying, I trust your game and you'll trust mine.
Ainsley Walsh coming back in for Kiplocks, as the Flames still trail by 2 early in the second quarter.
Abby receiving the instructions directly from Coach Brennan on the sideline about what action they're running. She'll take the elbow jumper, rims out. Harriet Carey tips it around. Oh, goes through the legs. Alex Fowler, no, doesn't come up with it as Coach Brendan wipes the sweat away.
And all that action, the referees actually missed an 8-second in the backcourt there because it was down to 14 seconds by the time it passed the sideline.
I wonder if position had been established, though. So I wonder if that's what they were
perhaps, yes,
worrying about, as opposed to the
but
bench.
hence, if that's the case, the shot clock shouldn't have started.
I think that they were in error there.
Yeah.
They go under the screen. Moore takes the three. That one's no good. Fowler manages to keep it alive, though, and saves it to Walsh through McCulley.
We go McCulley Bishop pass coming up right now.
Here's the double, triple. They find Carey on the skip. That triple's good. And that's what Townsville's going to need to do if they're going to limit Abby seeing a triple team. They have to knock down some threes.
And Bishop's size is obviously going to help her as well because she's tall enough to see over. Besides Luna Castro, no one's going to get in her vision line. So they can send 2 or 3 players, but she's still going to be able to find those players on the perimeter.
And she's incredibly strong, too. So that skip pass has got a lot of weight behind it as Gold Coast answers with the triple of their own. Oh, here comes a lucky Moore. No one was calling the screen as Carey takes another corner triple. Tipped out of bounds. Tom Jones signals Townsville ball. Fowler checks out. Alicia Froling, another fresh Energizer bunny, now back on the floor.
Walmsley comes back into the game for Gold Coast with Woods going to the bench.
Three-point shooter's got to keep taking that shot.
Big O board by Froling, a kick out, but Moore
Lack of
reads
awareness.
it. Yeah.
Young player Harriet Carey assumed she had possession there.
McCulley just losing her balance a little bit there and getting caught in front for the blocking foul.
I know Harriet's taken at least 3. She's buried 1. If they leave her that wide open and the shot doesn't fall, maybe taking a step in, maybe taking that elbow jumper, just, seeing the ball going through the net might help her out.
But as you said, Mike, the shooter's got to take that shot when it's available, and Gold Coast zoning that base out of bounds, so much attraction to the bigs, left her wide open at the top with plenty of time to shoot it. And I'm sure Coach Brennan trusts her to be taking those shots.
Ambrose to Moore. Bishop tries to run her off the three-point line, but not enough as Moore buries another triple. Just great answer from Gold Coast here. Back-to-back triples after Townsville had taken the lead.
Bishop versus Luna Castro. Obermeyer comes to double, which opens up the play, but they scramble out of it well, Gold Coast. McCulley into the lane, Froling, another big O-board. Kick out to Walsh for 3. It's no good, but another O-board.
I think back to the game where Brad George thought the strength of Townsville would be the inside play, and they just buried so many triples. But I believe that's the only game that I've seen Townsville consistently hit that outside three-point shot.
Walsh doesn't get it off in time. Shot clock expires.
Coach Brennan wants to talk it over. He takes a timeout here. Showing a
half-court trap perhaps here.
Yep.
Gold Coast
Well
find their way
scouted.
around it, and Luna Castro, that's a money shot for her from the elbow.
Well prepared there. Cassie Dover watching some film from Townsville, who have shown a propensity for a little bit of a change-up coming out of those timeouts.
Cassie, obviously very familiar with this stadium as well, spent a number of years in Townsville.
Plays at WNBL.
Played on the WNBL roster. She can look up above her head, and there's a national championship, Townsville Flames banner, which she was part of that team back in, well, I'm going to say 2007. Yeah, something like that. I should know.
Abby Bishop buries the two there. Townsville had gone through a bit of a drought. Needed that 2 points. Abby's played every second so far. Would you expect her on game one to play the full 40? Steps out of bounds, no good.
Well, look, on a single game weekend, if she's fit enough, what better way to get her to learn the systems and learn what you're trying to do than spending more time out there with the teammates. And maybe that's something that Brennan needs to think about, knowing that Frolling is about to disappear, that he needs Bishop to get as good an understanding as what she can in 1 week.
Well, and previously for Rocky, as Eliza's triple is no good, she would regularly play 40 minutes a game. So she's certainly capable of doing it. Fabro contested three and comes up with a rebound, leads the break, kick ahead to Brennan. Oh, great pass from Brennan, who's fouled by Ambrose at the basket. I didn't think the angle was there, but Alicia is so long.
Yep.
Brennan thread the needle, and she got fouled in the act of shooting.
So we see Woods come back into the game for Obermeyer for the Gold Coast.
First free throw is good. If only we had some sound effects that might go with that.
I can't remember which one's which, Mike, so
and the second
I don't want to press the wrong one and end up with that.
We'll have to speak to our technical support staff here, find out which button does what.
Nice drive in through the seam by Woods. It's no good with her finish, though. Walmsley comes up with the O board.
Ambrose with a long two. It's good.
And great urgency from Ambrose there. As soon as that shot's made, sprints up to get heavy on the ball to slow down that inbound.
Here's a Bishop triple attempt, no good. But Frolling is there, skies over more, but can't convert the bunny. Unlucky there. But Townsville, it seems like every possession, they've gotten at least one offensive rebound out of it.
And look, while it hasn't hurt Gold Coast yet, we talked about this last week with Toowoomba. Toowoomba gave up so many offensive boards last week.
That's right.
It finally came back to hurt them late in the game when Townsville got some momentum.
The weight of possession eventually seemed to wear them down, and Townsville was able to go on a bit of a run, just separate themselves to get that 4-point win. Moore seems to be denying McCulley here now, forcing Eliza to organize the offense. Cross-screen action, they switch it.
Loose pass by Brennan. Just
the lack of timing there and familiarity of when she wanted it.
I think she thought Bishop might have been Yao Ming there, the way that she threw that ball.
I like that.
Even he might have struggled to pull that pass down.
Bol may have gotten to it.
Yes, Bol, who was he drafted by today, Mike?
Denver.
Denver.
Miami traded their pick to Denver. He was drafted 47th or something like that. But great name, Bol.
So Townsville trailing by 7, 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. They find Brennan off the down screen.
Curls off of it.
Nice curl and finish at the rim for 2.
Yep, and I guess that's a veteran move, recognizing my shot hasn't been falling. She's tailing me. I'm going to curl it, get something comfortable, and then maybe the next one.
Foul called on Bishop, just a little reach around on the post feed.
So efficient with her fouls, Abby, over the years. Well, I know that when we were prepared to play for her, that, and as she checks out with 2:22 left there in the first half, that trying to get her fouled out was never going to work out. She's so clever. She knows when to use them. She knows, she understands rhythm and referees, and she has that respect.
Wouldn't even surprise if she took the risk on that foul to get that substitute because she saw a big sitting on the bench.
Rachel runs Castro off the line.
Little
Shot
tip by
clock pressure.
Froling on the shot there. I'll give her a block. I'm not sure if they gave it or not.
Oh, a bit of frustration there from Luna Castro as she picks up a holding foul on Froling. She's going to check out. She's got a few words to say. That's 3 fouls on Luna Castro, and probably or possibly a bit of frustration there of not recognizing what we had just given Bishop credit for. In fairness to the referee on the previous possession, it felt like she was asking for a bailout call on a very short shot clock. Lisa Brennan throws another high ball.
And
Stops the fast break.
frustration foul herself just with the reach in. Just rushing a little bit with that overhead pass on the on-ball screen right now, Brennan. So slow down, get the pass to where it is because the switch is happening.
Yeah,
they've
improve
got
the
plenty
angle
of
maybe.
time. Yeah. Dribble it out, drag the player away to get better space.
McCauley doing a great job of keeping Moore in front. Kick to Ambrose. Fowler well defended. Brennan comes up with a steal, but credit to Fowler there who applied a lot of pressure. Here's Froling on the break. Left hand. How much ground did she cover on that step? Finishes the left hand. Great move from Alicia Froling.
And it's back to a 3-point game. Townsville just making inroads here late in this quarter.
I'm disappointed as a fan that I won't get to see Alicia Froling play for the Townsville Fire next year, but what an exciting young product she is for Bendigo. Oh, Xian Woods shakes Harriet Carey. Lack of urgency on the boards there. As Coach Brennan shakes his head. 50 seconds left here in the first half. Oh.
More turnover. Just got the ball stripped slightly and then used a foot to keep possession. Foot violation called, and the Townsville ball with a couple of possessions left here in the first half. Timeout called by the Townsville Flames, with them leading 33 to 30. Oh, sorry, them trailing. My apologies. The Gold Coast team 33 to 30 with 47.3 seconds left on the clock in the first half.
That's their final timeout this half. Gold Coast, I believe, still have one timeout. Castro looks like obviously she'll have to sit the rest of the half, so I imagine we'll see a steady dose of more here in the last 47 seconds, which is possibly 2 possessions for the Gold Coast.
So in Gladstone, the USC Rip City team is leading 25 to 20 with 7.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Maddie Rocci also heading away with the Australian University team on Friday. 12 points already in that match. 12
is
out
Tupea
of
part of that group as well?
their 25. No, Tupea is not part of that group.
Right.
So that'll be a challenge for the Rip City team to have to overcome without having Rocci for their next couple of weeks as well.
Well, they dropped some games early on in the year that I thought they...
Yeah, so must win for the Rip City team tonight, you would think.
Bishop didn't check back in here. We've got Carey, McCauley, Walsh, Froling, and Fowler operating out of a horn set.
Gold Coast gone to a zone just to try and throw anything Townsville might have drawn up out. Nice coaching there by Coach Dover just to disrupt what Townsville's plans might have been.
Yeah. And I think that'd be a good bit of footage that have showed Alex Fowler when she got that high post catch. Her decision was already made on a kick out. I think she had an opportunity there to beat her defender, at least engage her better. Froling with a long closeout off the left hand.
Shot there by Scully.
No good. 10 seconds left for Townsville. They'll look for the tie or at least cut the lead. Going to the screen. Floater from McCauley is good. Free throw line floater, Rachel McCauley.
And at halftime in Townsville at the Townsville Stadium, the Gold Coast Rollers lead the Townsville Flames 33.
game, which is
it should
absolutely
be
fun. Yeah.
We're just trying to do it for the fans at home who want to get that little bit more insight, but
That's
unfortunately,
right.
sometimes we're just running a little bit short on this stuff.
And his family in New South Wales who just wants to see him, on camera. Yeah.
Yep.
Great work that he's doing, but look, if you don't want to catch up with mom and dad, that's on you, Luke. That's on you.
Is that a message you think he's sending to mum and dad, Mike, or? We'll make sure he gives an apology later. Well, that message will flick through during the week, I'm sure.
So we get restarted here. Townsville with their same starting lineup.
Gold Coast also coming out with the same lineup they started the game with. And an immediate turn. Oh, no, Townsville scrap it back through Brennan.
It.
McCulley out of the ball screen with Froling. Pulls up behind for three. It's good.
And that's exactly what Townsville needs. If they're going to keep going under that screen, someone's got to be able to knock down a three. So Rachel Scully answers Luke Brennan's prayers there.
Now Townsville doing the same thing back the other way, going underneath the high ball screens.
And then they switch it. Here's McCulley on Luna Castro, who wants to work, get her down, comfort zone. McCulley does a great job of making her settle for an elbow jumper.
Coach Brennan just arguing a little bit that he thought there was a foul on that rebounding contest. And Walsh compounds a turnover with transition coming back the other way for Gold Coast. Luna Castro at the rim for two. And the game is back tied.
Well, I was wondering if Luna Castro was going to come out and start for them, given she has those three fouls. I wanted to ask Luke Brennan about it. If she did start, would they look to attack that? And I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out.
And look, you saw straight away there that Moore was defending Walsh over on the perimeter and was way off on the split line on that post feed look for Bishop. So Walsh is going to have to try and exploit that, and if her defender goes and helps so much, 45 cut off from the weak side, do something to try and attract her attention back. As Woods gets to the rim with a nice right-hand layup.
Scores are tied here. Bishop had just answered with a long two of her own. Her toe was on the three-point line. Oh, here's the triple team. Great cut from Alicia Froling. Finishes with the left hand. Cassie Dover not happy about that rotation. I'm just not sure what other bodies you can send to Froling if you're going to send three to Bishop.
Correct, yes. Townsville just defending that pistol action on the wing from Gold Coast with switches at the moment. Luna Castro looking for the late duck in on Froling and gets the foul and makes the bucket.
Great finish from Castro.
You hear Cassie, I'm not sure if you heard that up in the effects mic there, but Cassie Dover screaming at her players to make sure they get on the split line. And you'll see this, you watch the next possession down the floor. If they come the same way they have the last couple of times down the right-hand side looking for Bishop in the post, you'll see, I think it was Walsh's defender, which will now be Carey's defender, just way off on the split line on those post feeds.
Back cut from Brennan. Is she going to be happy with that split line defense?
Well, no, the other split line was not going to help off Bishop, and that's a good way, I suppose, for Townsville to exploit that attention that Bishop's drawing. Use her to drag her player out of help position.
And she did a great job. I mean, Rachel did a great job of selling. We were going to go for the skip pass. We'd feed into that side, but and Brendan read off of that it was her opportunity to slip because, and a great ball fake there. Froling gets fouled on the tip-in. Is there a better offensive rebounder in the league that we've seen than Alicia Froling?
Look, not obviously we don't see every team every week, and we get blessed to see Froling every week, but it is certainly an asset that she brings to a game, and as we talked about, we'll take that to Bendigo. That was Walmsley's third foul as well, so both Walmsley and Castro on 3 fouls for Gold Coast. Could spell a bit of trouble for them down the stretch.
I mean, her body type, the way that she works to get into position early, her high IQ of the game, she just seems to be at every contest, so.
It's just the aggressive nature she plays with as well.
Great help there from Alicia Froling, who rotated on the slip from Luna Castro.
Post feed, immediate double. Bishop finds Carey on the kick out for 3. It's short. Bishop's just going to have to be careful of that. On that catch, she might get dummied into a foul call or something here if the defender on the split line goes and exaggerates contact, perhaps.
Well, I was just thinking, had that been Rachel McCulley, she would have definitely sold that foul. She would have been on the backside and, you know, forced the referee to make a decision.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
The import sort of maybe not quite as familiar with Abby's game. Took a step back, gave her some space.
Frolling comes open after coming over that screen from McCulley. Kick out three again for Carey. Short again. 2 in a row, a little bit short. Needs to make that adjustment and get some more legs into that shot.
Yep. Coach trusting early here in that second half, needing, you know, to space the floor. Carey, who shot 45% from three last year, definitely capable.
Obermeyer on the back cut, overcooked her layup.
No substitutions here forthcoming for Townsville as Carey goes off the left hand, dribbles into problem.
Bishop makes the shot. 2 points count and is fouled by Luna Castro. That'll be her 4th foul, so Gold Coast in big trouble now.
Well, you'd wonder how long Cassie was going to be able to get away with playing Luna Castro, knowing that she was going to be matched up on Bishop.
Yeah, and Luna Castro not happy with that foul, but you saw, you know, and referees will do this consistently. She had great position at first, was vertical, dropped those arms down just that little bit is all that referees look for to make that call.
And Abby does a great job of selling it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she's an experienced player, so gamble doesn't pay off for Cassie Dover there, who'll have to sit Luna Castro and their premier inside presence. And now who are significantly smaller as Alicia Froling comes up with a steal, and she may have been fouled, complaining to referee going to the basket there, but nothing forthcoming. Another turnover for Townsville. Cassie Dover looks to head to the bench and she calls a timeout. Things are just unraveling a little bit for Gold Coast here.
Now Townsville looking for the mismatch. Bishop on Moore. Kick out back to Brennan for 3. On the double was no good. And now foul called on Brennan for a push in the back on Woods. Dover cancels the timeout. So
interesting.
Obviously wants to keep those in the bank a little bit and just maybe that basket was made. It was definitely going to happen. He's prepared to take the risk a little bit now.
Brennan checks out. I wasn't paying attention to the score bench there. Not sure how many fouls she's on. She's on 3 fouls. So Coach Brennan decides to sit her with those 3 fouls as Eliza Fabro checks in. Sion Woods plays out of the ball screen.
It goes out of bounds and it will be Gold Coast ball though, with 10 seconds on the shot clock.
What a sizable 5-4 combo with the 6'5" Abby Bishop, and who gets another block there. And it's just that much more obvious right now against this small Gold Coast lineup.
Foul called there on Frolling, just a little bit late coming over in front of Moore.
And she picks up her 3rd foul. The difference between Townsville and Gold Coast, though, is as Alicia Froling checks out, a quality 4-man in Alex Fowler checks in for her.
And look, we talk about Townsville's front court, and now particularly with Bishop coming in, I don't think there is any other QBL team running around with an all-WNBL front court.
You know, Logan's got Roof, who's a great talent,
WNBL player.
and Ash Taya, who's probably more a 3-man in this league. Ipswich have Amanda Johnson. But I'm struggling to remember the pair that she has. So Rocky's got their new import, whose name I don't want to mispronounce, but I'm not sure. And actually another big from Victoria. So they're quite okay in that front court as well. But I definitely give Townsville the advantage.
Moore looks to work on the high on ball, finds Ambrose.
They got the switch, but managed to switch back. Did Townsville. Deflection. McCulley comes up with it. It's a 2-on-1 carry.
Kick ball there by Moore, so it will be Townsville's ball from the baseline.
Harriet will regret not just Throwing it up high to the 6'5" Bishop. There was no one else that was.
It would have been a hard
chance to
catch
get
for
into
Bishop
that.
to make, to be honest, the bounce pass as well.
The bounce pass would have been hard, but
Yeah.
I reckon on the high one. But here's Fabro with the 3 ball from Bishop, who applauds the youngster. Townsville now 8-point lead. Cassie Dover had canceled the previous timeout.
Yeah, I see why she did when they missed, and the game has steadied back into a bit of ebb and flow, but
Townsville's defense here is set. Oh, gamble of a pass there. You can see her hesitating.
she's
going
looking
to
at
the
the bench.
She's looking to her assistants. Assistants are not making eye contact. It's great from this vantage point to be able to assess that dynamic.
And they're so hard decisions as coaches as well, because you want to have that availability of,
Oh, Harriet Carey with another tip ball. Sion Woods appealing to the referee, but it's a great explosive move there from Carey.
you want those timeouts when you think the game's on the line, but if you don't call them at the right time, then the game's not on the line later.
That's right, because it got out of hand.
I think all of us as coaches have been there, and we've just let that thing slip a little bit too far in the third quarter to pull back late.
Oh, late shot clock here for the Gold Coast. Managed to barely get it up on the rim. Alex Fowler cleans it up. Here's McCulley.
McCulley works with Bishop, ends up turning the ball over, and Dover finally does call that timeout. So after fruitless trips down the offensive end, she just wants to, I suppose, try and find a way to start reapplying some more scoreboard pressure as they've gone a little bit dry.
The world about how much he thought about Annette Winton. So a great staff that Luke Brennan gets to work with.
So it's an 18-9 third quarter right now, the way of Townsville, and that's what swung all this momentum and the game back into their control after trailing at halftime.
Harriet really seems, I was going to say, engaged with that matchup as Townsville concede a wide open 3 to Ambrose that Gold Coast managed to secure. But you can sort of just feel it in Harriet sometimes when she feels a good matchup and she gets to use her physicality. Sion Woods launches a triple. Townsville does a great job of boxing out everybody, and Bishop comes up with a rebound. Here's Harriet off the left hand to Fabro, wide open for 3. No good, but Fowler, reverse move, no good.
So I just took a little quick sneak peek at the stats from halftime, Mike, and we say it's an 18-9 third quarter to Townsville right now. Moore has not had a shot in this quarter yet. So their leading scorer at halftime has yet to put up an attempt. So McCulley's been doing
McCulley's done a great job, but Harriet's had her for a couple possessions there too. So certainly been a team effort of, she had 11 in the first quarter, she had 3 in the second quarter, and now she has 0 points.
Foul called there on Fowler, just a little reach on Woods as she was trying to reverse the ball across the top. Gold Coast with the ball, trailing by 8. And McCulley is just, now that I've said it, you watch how McCulley's guarding more, and she's basically taking herself out of help rotation. She's doing whatever she has to make sure that Moore's not going to get an easy attempt here.
Any touch. So I guess that was the halftime induction. We spoke about what are they going to do. We saw the double last week. Yep. This week it's sort of been more about the denial and no help responsibility. As Ambrose can't bury the first free throw.
And that rim's just getting a bit smaller down that end at the moment. Makes the second though.
Obermeyer on the ball pickup. A mix of veterans and young players here for Townsville.
Foul called there on Obermeyer. Very similar foul to what was called at the other end on Fowler, only a possession to go.
3 teenagers for Townsville with the current and former Opal. I'd be interested to see if Shaylee Ward, who's coming off some significant injuries, they're going to call a foul on Moore there, which is possibly unlucky. Rachel tripped. Whether that was Moore's fault or not, I'm not sure. Getting back to my point, Shaylee Ward, who's had 2 significant injuries, a wrist injury at Nationals, and then picked up a foot injury in the second last game. She's cleared to play, so I know that Coach Brendan was keen to get her in. Oh, great dump pass from Abby Bishop to Alex Fowler.
Just lovely little wraparound dump off the floor. Fowler, great timing on her cut and made the layup.
It's exciting when we get when Townsville Flames get Michaela Cox back and have Rachel McCulley as a backup. Abby Bishop with this front court, they've dropped a couple early on, but I wouldn't want to face them late. As Rachel gets all the way to the rim, can't convert though. Mike,
we're both former Townsville Flames coaches. You can say we.
We can say we. Okay, all right. I do try to be impartial. I'm a non-apologetic Townsville fan, but.
Woods, nice little move getting around Fabro. Probably should have tried to finish with the left hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
There. Great pass by McCulley.
In transition, right hand. Harriet Carey, left hand.
Great board by Fowler, keeping the possession alive for Townsville. Shot clock running low. McCulley pulls up.
Great move from Abby to create some extra space there for her as well. Oh, as Woods steps out of bounds. That offensive rebound total continues to climb. 12 at halftime. I wouldn't be surprised to see it's north of 18 at this point.
Yeah, look, just waiting for the stats to update on the live stats, but looking at that now, they're only 14, so they've only had a couple this quarter, but they've made them count when they've got them.
See the excuse. Oh, here's Shaylee Ward with her first minutes in the QBL. Can't bury that triple. I was going to blame the statisticians. Clearly they've missed them. Driving move here from Gold Coast. A little bit erratic and out of control as Ward returns the ball up court.
Fowler looking to post up the smaller Moore now. Drags her back out to the perimeter just to create some space. And now Bishop.
The space that's disappeared from it's like a magnet.
So Bishop caught the ball and Ambrose, Scully and Tolley all basically just gravitated straight to her. And
immediately, not on the bounce, just on the ball being thought to be entered that way.
So Bishop with the bonus 2 free throws here.
Coach's son who's wanted onto the court here.
Wants to be on the court with mum and dad out there at the moment, little Jack Brennan.
Alex Fowler trying to keep Moore in front of her. Help from Brennan. She collects her own miss. Kicks it to Ambrose, corner.
Little tip, I think, maybe on that by Brennan. And at 3/4 time, the moment. over Gladstone.
Close game there as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach Dover wants to decide to handle this defensively. Does she go zone? Does she try to protect Luna Castro a little bit?
And you'd think Townsville are just going to throw it into Bishop almost every possession, wouldn't you, to attack Castro if they're going to make that matchup happen.
And if Alicia Froling, and actually as we say that, Gold Coast look to attack the Townsville bigs and draw the foul, and they'll head to the free throw line shooting too.
Nice attack from Tully there. Good catch. Caught Carey a little bit off balance on the closeout and just attacked.
Alicia Froling's on 3 fouls herself, but her explosiveness, you'd assume that they'd want to use that as well. So lots of weapons to be able to attack this Gold Coast front line.
Tully short on the second.
McCulley with the ball here, feeds it into Carey, organize the offense. Calls for the ball screen. They continue to go under. Lots of movement here. Great from Townsville. Something we haven't seen a lot of, as McCulley can't convert the three-pointer, but they forced the turnover from some ball pressure. Moore calling for the foul.
Gold Coast have made the adjustment here, trying to preserve Castro by she's guarding the more undersized Froling while Fowler, while Ambrose is trying to guard Bishop. So thing that Castro's going to have to be careful with, though, is Fowler's O-boarding and just not being caught off balance there.
As Fowler takes her off the bounce, kisses off the glass for 2. Nice move there from Alex. Castro off the dribble, she probes. This big-to-big action ends up with Fowler on her. Feeds it inside to Tully off the right hand. Tully really has forced a few of these shots.
Yep. And that's another foul to Walmsley, so I think that's her 4th foul. So will Dover run the risk with 2 starters? It doesn't look like it. It looks like
Sian Woods.
That change has come, and Woods will come back in for Walmsley.
Townsville looking really settled at this point as the ball bounces around hands, and I completely jinx them.
Gold Coast gone to the zone now. They find Carey in the corner open for 3. Another one that's off. Bishop O-board, it's no good.
Though, as Cassie Dover is asking for the push in the back and eventually rewarded by Tom Jones.
Bishop picks up her 3rd foul.
I don't think that'll affect the substitution pattern. Coach Brennan will have full confidence that with 3 fouls, with 8 minutes left, that she'll be able to play through that.
Ambrose attacks Fowler, finds Tully. She's no good.
Tully's just unable to convert.
Just rushed that little right-handed shot at the rim.
I'm not familiar with her game, but
Bishop
on the right hand. Very familiar with hers on the other hand. Very much playing to the strength. 6'5", off the right hand, close to the rim. As Castro takes a deep triple. Gold Coast now just feeling that scoreboard pressure, looking to get some points to keep it close as Townsville's extended out to 12. Townsville, on the other hand, obviously playing with a lot of confidence of a 12-point margin. As
Tully blocks that shot, but it will be Townsville ball out of bounds with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and we see Fabro coming back in for Carey. Carey just a little bit off tonight from the three-point land, so I would imagine that might be the last we've seen of her for the evening.
Well, I guess it depends where we go scoreboard-wise here. It might be an opportunity to finish late for Carey to get, her stroke back, some confidence back.
Turnover by Bishop, just trying to find Brennan in the short corner.
Bishop wisely, I was going to say wisely, but heavily contested that shot nonetheless. Fowler to McCulley. Oh, that'll be Bishop's 4th.
So now Brennan has a decision to make, and he immediately turns around to Froling. So Bishop will get to sit for a few minutes here.
And in fairness to Tom Jones, I think that was the right call. I think Abby got basket hungry there. Coach Brennan takes the decision. decides to sub Froling back in, who's on 3 fouls herself. So important few minutes here for Gold Coast and for Townsville, as Walmsley can't bear the triple. Fowler is unaware of the pressure behind her, but manages to maintain it. Unnecessary foul there from Moore, reaching from behind. She picks up her third.
It's just interesting little side note for those who want to go back and just stream back to that last possession. Brennan was screaming at the ref for an illegal pick on the turnout. When Walmsley caught it, she actually stepped out of bounds, but the referee was consumed by the argument that he didn't see it.
Oh, here's Froling with the offensive rebound. Put back with the left hand. All arms and legs from Alicia.
So it's a 14-point lead here for Townsville.
Oh, Alex
Fowler comes
does come up with a turnover. Ambrose fouled her but didn't get called. This time, Fabro gets fouled. That time it's called. She'll head to line shooting too. Bit of danger here for a lot of tempers flaring as referees tolerate some contact and not the others.
Yeah, a little just simmer of frustration right now from players all over the place. So I'm sure the referees, Tom Jones, a very experienced referee, I'm sure he'll be aware of the tension of some players right now.
And Tom, one of the best communicators, referees that I've had the pleasure of working with. As Eliza Fabro knocks down both free throws.
Gold Coast now trailing by 16, really need to find some sort of form of points production right now as McCulley continues just to hug Moore off the ball so that she can't make any impact on this game.
It's tough to score inside against Townsville throughout the whole game. You know, their 3-man is a 4-man. Their bench 4-man is a starting 4-man for anyone else. And the other two we haven't mentioned is Alicia Froling and Abby Bishop. So trying to drive inside against that length and that height. As Townsville now enjoys a 16-point lead with a little bit less than 6 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Brendan off the bounce, skip past to Fabro.
That's way short by Fabro. But Brennan does a good job keeping it alive.
What a veteran move from Brennan.
But the shot clock expires here, so...
What are they going to decide? Is it a jump ball? Right, so there's no time on the clock. They're going to say it's jump ball. Jump ball.
The siren hasn't gone off yet, so it must be point something. Oh, no, they've given 14 seconds, so... They've declared, obviously, that Moore had enough control when she was on the floor there to reset the shot clock.
Even better move then from
hang on. Now the refs are getting together again.
They want to explain it to Cassie Dover. They're going to say that Moore had possession. Brennan threw herself on the ground to tie it up, and therefore the 14 seconds on the clock. Oh. A rush shot from Brennan off the glass. Not sure they needed that.
Wood pulls up for 3. It's good.
She buries it. Big triple. Coach Brennan with a great timeout here to answer.
Well, it's interesting. I don't know if his assistants noted this, but Dover actually had a timeout waiting. So, as Brennan maybe wasted one there, but...
he's frustrated now as he finds out that Dover did have a timeout.
Yeah.
But because he asked for one as well, he's
and
now credited with the
Gold Coast score.
Either way, I think for him it's going to work. He's got a 13-point lead. There's 5 minutes left. He's at home.
Yep. They just need a little refocus right now. They were up to 16. It hasn't, not major pressure or anything been applied, and they've just trimmed back a little bit. So
just some rush shots there on their behalf, and
spacing getting a little bit askew. So yeah, good timeout and good option to take it. But he probably will be filthy when he realised that Gold Coast had one waiting, and he could have maybe waited one more possession and still had that.
I'm just watching Abby Bishop here in this timeout, who as a well-credentialed player who's not on the floor right now is completely engaged in this timeout. from behind Coach Brennan. You know, and as a coach and as coaches, that's what you want to see from, you know, the players that you look to set the example is you are fully committed to this process, whether you're on the floor or not. You're trying to embrace the culture and be part of it. So I'm sure Coach Brennan, if he were to watch this again, would be more pleased to see that type of behavior being demonstrated by her.
And look, that's something he'll endear himself to the Townsville community. We've got intelligent basketball fans here. They're going to try and lock her up with the fire. You know, this could be somewhere where Bishop spends a bit of time over the next couple of years while, you know, Zala, her daughter, starts to get into that school age, and, you know, she's probably looking to settle roots a little bit somewhere for a while.
Yeah. Well, no better place. As an immigrant myself, no better place to be.
Shot clock runs low, and
they
McCulley launches
I'm
the
not
three.
sure that's the best decision. Is she misses, but Fabro collects. McCulley with the veteran head decides they'll get organized here. Oh, great screen. They switch it. Great recognition. Fabro being patient to throw it to Froling, who threw up with the right hand. And
what I really liked there, though, as well, Mike, was Fowler passing the ball to Fabro on the wing. She knew that screen was coming, but instead of trying to make that pass from the high angle, kicked it onto the wing and improved the angle. As we see Fowler finish with 2 at the rim on a quick transition score.
And it's not something you can scout. You know that this is her strength, but late in the game, it's her stamina. Oh, big block from Froling, an intimidating block.
And the push was called, so Tom Jones thought it was clean upstairs, but that body contact down low.
Just getting back to the point I was making, that Fowler late in the game, she is still looking to push transition points.
Yep.
She may have contested your shot. She will buddy run you, and as soon as the opportunity is to create some separation, she'll explode. She's got great hands, and she was able to convert and sort of negate the possession that Gold Coast had just had before them. So misses the second. That was really important.
Just to break that 14-point barrier, like they've gotten to that and stopped, So
Townsville really not feeling threatened. Although Gold Coast here extending the pressure. Oh, Fowler with a great fake, but more with better hands. Comes up with a steal. Gold Coast really need to come up with a score here if they want to make a true contest of this, and they do, to their credit, through Luna Castro, who buries the long 2. And now it's 12. And now Townsville, you know, need a good possession. There's plenty of time to come back from a 12-point deficit.
McCulley looks to find Froling in the short corner. Skips to Fabro.
Oh, Fabro off the bounce.
Shoot
right
it
hand.
as the clock gets
no
low.
good. Alicia Froling with another offensive rebound, though. Oh, Rachel McCulley, who normally might bury that jumper, was unable to come up with it.
And Townsville just waiting with Bishop sitting here at the score bench.
And Sion Woods here, no good on the triple. Brennan comes up with it. I was going to say throughout this, doing it without their most credentialed player, Navi Bishop, but in whatever time for the next whistle, she'll check back in and just provide that extra weapon for Coach Brennan.
Fowler finds McCulley for 3. It's off. Gold Coast with the ball again.
More to Castro. Referee says 3. A rare offensive rebound for Gold Coast, wrestled away by Alicia Froling.
And now Bishop comes back in for Fowler. Timeout called by the Gold Coast Rollers, trailing 66-54.
We can't see the possession arrow from here, but I assume the ball is with the Gold Coast Rollers.
No, it's yes, it is. Yeah, it's with the Rollers. Yeah.
So they got 14 seconds here. Bishop is due to check back in. They trail by 12.
Yeah, look, it's
what's the strategy?
Oh, look, they're obviously got a
good to see Coach Brennan trusting the young Eliza Fabro here in this situation. Playing a bit of the two-guard role, guarding Sian Woods. As they go to Woods inside, no, sorry, Moore, I mean inside.
Shot clock expiring. Luna Castro's going to have to launch it. But 3 seconds called on Gold Coast.
Oh.
Hey, look, it's a fair call. Moore was caught under the rim, passed it out, didn't move out of there. Consistent. I suppose the application of the rule is true. I wouldn't have called it.
I don't think any referee has ever done sort of commentary on games to appreciate the sort of excitement of it. We don't want to see a 3-second call in that situation.
Particularly when it's a guard in there as well, and the big's about to launch something from the perimeter.
Townsville under similar pressure, shot clock pressure here. Was that Eliza Fabro?
Yeah, it was.
Wow. I wish we had instant replay. That was a great play from Abby Bishop, who got blocked.
I don't know if I wish we had instant replay, because I reckon that might have been after shot clock.
Well, it doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because we're up by 14, and I'm pretty sure Townsville was going to win. But in terms of the excitement factor of the block shot happening within 1 second, someone collecting it, throwing it over their shoulder, and it going in.
Yeah, great heads-up play by Fabro just to give it a chance, and was rewarded with that.
And Coach Brennan trusting her in the last few minutes to be able to, to play heads-up basketball.
I'm not sure if but we haven't seen much of Walsh in the second half, Mike.
No, I felt that Harry Carey got some of those minutes early on.
Yeah.
A bit of youthful exuberance, and then Shaylee Ward came on to play a little bit. Kip Locks is another one who's sort of been missing here in this second half.
A little bit of coach-to-coach banter on the sideline there as well, Mike, after that last goal. Both fiery customers, Cassie Dover and Luke Brennan, so not surprised about that.
Oh, that's
Cassie
great.
Contesting the call and Luke just explaining some rules to her.
I assume we'll see some substitutions here late, as Fabro takes the corner three-pointer, and it's good.
The Birder can keep coming up big for Townsville in the stretch here, just to make sure they put the rubber stamp on this win.
And I mentioned last week, Eliza, who's coming off a significant ankle injury, ruled her out for the better part of last year. And, she's come here with a new coach and in great form, in great touch, and just significant contributions as Abby gets it inside from Brennan.
Substitutions for Townsville late.
And a timeout to...
No.
Maddie Mackay Jr., someone who made a few North Queensland teams. Shaylee comes up with a rebound. 2 more possessions here to go as Townsville will come up with a big win, a really important win for them. Having made a significant move, you don't acquire Abby Bishop because you just want to make the top 8. You have her because you have aspirations to be a title contender, and I thought Townsville did a really good job of integrating her into the lineup.
And so next week for Townsville, Mackay at home. So
wow, great game.
Yeah, big game for them next week. Those northern rivalries are always massive. So we'll look forward to, Mike, you'll look forward to calling that game next week.
I'll have to find a new partner.
You will have to find a new partner. We'll see who we can dredge up for you.
See if she's free. No, she'll be gone as well, I think.
Yeah, look, we'll confirm that during the week for you. I would have thought you'd know when your wife was going away, but
I don't want to check the schedule right now.
Woods misses the first, and so with 5 seconds to go, Townsville 16-point margin, dominant second half for the Flames after, you know, probably a little bit of a slow start. Gold Coast took control of the game early, and Townsville just found a way to grind it down as the game went on.
Yeah, just that roster depth really seemed to just, and the star, you know, like Abby Bishop, who had just been introduced to the group, really kept Townsville ticking, and